Welcome to Kemble's tutorial. Today we'll be looking at order of operations in mathematics, and this topic is very important because in mathematics we have a lot of operations. We have the positive, we have the subtraction, and so on and so forth. So when all these operations appears in a mathematical expression, in what order are we going to simplify them? So that is what this topic is all about. So draw your seat backward, relax, and pay attention as I simplify this. Now let's define the order of operation. So the order of operation is a mathematical rule that tells us the correct sequence of steps of evaluating a mathematical expression. Now when you want to evaluate a mathematical expression that contains all these operations, in what sequence are we going to follow the simplification? Now in mathematics, recall that we have the addition, we have the subtraction, we have the multiplication, and we have the division. We also have the power, and we also have the roots. Okay, when all this appears in a mathematical expression, in what order are we going to simplify? And that is where we come to the rule, and that rule is called the BODMAS. The BODMAS. Some people call it the PEMDAS. The PEMDAS. Now what does it mean? The B here means bracket. So the B here or the P means bracket. So whenever you have a bracket in an expression, you handle it first of all. So the B is for bracket, the P is for parentheses. Okay? Now our O or our E will come after. Whenever we have the off in an expression, you handle the off. Or we have an exponent, that is power. Like when we have 4 raised to power 2 in an expression. So after parentheses, we handle exponent. Or when we have a root, the root of 16, for example, if it appears in an expression, we take care of it in that order. Then after then we have the multiplication and the division. So the division and multiplication, they go together. So in any order you want to do it, if you want to do division first or multiplication, they go together. So either division or what? Multiplication. Then the last one is addition and subtraction. They also go together. So addition or what? Subtraction, in that order. So this is what BODMAS is all about. Now let's look at a question. Now evaluate 4 into 5 plus 2 minus 6 square root of 9 plus 4 square. Now you handle, according to BODMAS, you handle the bracket first. Okay, you handle the bracket or the parenthesis. So the bracket comes first, and the bracket here is the 5 plus the 2, and this will give us 7. And here means multiplication. So this means 4 times 7. Then we are done with the bracket. The next thing is the root and the square. That is, after bracket we have the off or the exponents or the roots. They will go together. Okay, so this will give us minus 6 into the square root of 9 is 3, then plus the square of 4 is 16. So we have this now. Now when you look at this expression, you still have the multiplication, you still have the subtraction, multiplication, and addition. Then you go back to BODMAS. So multiplication comes before addition and subtraction. So you handle multiplication. So 4 times 7 will give us 28. Then minus 6. Then okay, we handle, there's a multiplication here again. This is 6 times 3 will give us 18. Then plus 16. So we've gotten plus and minus. So anyway, they can go, if you want to do 18 plus 16, no problem. You want to do 28 plus 18. There's no problem. Okay, so 28 plus 18 will give us 10. So 10 plus 16, this will give us 26 as our answer. So our answer is 26. Now let's look at the next question. So we have simplified 56 into 8 plus 5 times 4 plus 2 divided by 10. Now there are two brackets here. We have the first bracket and we have the second bracket. So according to BODMAS, we start with the bracket. BODMAS say we start with the bracket. So let's go. Then 56 divided by 8 will give us 7. Then I have plus 5. Then I have times 4 plus 2 will give me 6. Then I have divided by then 10. Now I have here 7. I have plus here. I have multiplication. I have division. So according to BODMAS, division can come first or multiplication, they are together. So let me handle this multiplication first of all. So I have 7, then plus 5 times 6 will give me 30, then divided by 10. Okay, so division will now go next. 30 divided by 10 will give me 3, so my answer becomes 7 plus 3, and this will give me 10 as my answer. The next question on order of operation. Now in this case, now simplify this. We have two brackets here. We have the inner bracket and the outer bracket. Then we have the exponent. There's a power here, subtraction, multiplication, and division and multiplication. Okay, now when we have double brackets, we always start with the bracket inside the inner bracket. Then when you come to the inner bracket, there's a power here already. So by simplifying the inner bracket, we simplify the power first before we subtract. So this will now give me, this is the bigger bracket. Then the 7 square here is 49. Then minus 9. Then divided by 8. Remember that this bracket is still here. Bracket is here, then divided by 8, then the bigger bracket, then multiply by 2. Now 49 minus 9 will give me 40. 40 divided by 8, then the bigger bracket will close, then multiply by 2. Now 40 divided by 8 will give me 5. Then 5 multiplied 2, my answer becomes what? 10. Now let's look at another question. I have this question. Same, we have triple brackets here. We have two brackets inside the bigger bracket. So we are going to handle the bracket inside. So this will give me, I have here 44 minus 2 will give me, okay, I will handle this first of all. 44 minus 2 will give me 42. Then divided by, this bracket here is 2 square is 4. Then 4 plus 3 will give me 7. Then I'll close the bracket. Then multiply 3. Then minus 7. So 42 divided by 7 will give me 6. Then 6 times 3. Then minus 7. So multiplication will come first before subtraction. So 6 times 3 will give me 18. Then minus 7, my answer is 11. My answer is 11. So let's proceed. Now simplify this. I have 11 into minus 2 divided by 5 square minus 13 divided by 3 plus 8 all times 2. So there are many brackets here. There's an outside bracket, this bigger bracket. Then we have 11 minus 20. Then divided by, there's a bracket open. Then I'll handle this bracket inside here. So 25, 5 square is 25 minus 13. Okay, 25 minus 13, bracket close, then I have divided by 3, then I close the bracket, then plus 8, then the bigger bracket will be closed, then multiply by 2. Now if I open this bracket, I have 11 minus 20 divided by, I have here, this bracket will open, 25 minus 13 is 12. Now 12 divided by 3, bracket close, then plus 8, I close the bigger bracket, then multiply by 2. Now when I open the bracket, I have 11 minus 20 divided by, I'll handle this bracket inside there. So 12 divided by 3 will give me 4. Okay, then plus 8, I'll close the bracket, then times 2. Now let me handle the division here, because division comes before multiplication, before addition and subtraction. So I have 11 minus 20 divided by 4 is 5, then plus 8, then everything multiply 2. So 11 minus 5 is 6. So 6 plus 8, all times 2. So 6 plus 8 is 14. So 14 times 2 will give me 28 as my answer. So my answer is 28. Okay, now let's, all right, you can, viewers at home, solve this, tell me the answer, and drop the answer at the comment box. Try to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you.